the president then, Jonathan, disappointed the whole of the elders in the Ijaw nation, and they had their way. Said there are prominent riverine people like Ochibokobia, Bekibor, Dagogo Jack, Dubolulu Briggs. So many other prominent rivers people were in that race with him, about 12 of them. But they disqualified almost everybody. On which ground, we don't know, like what he did in the APC. The PDP disqualified so many of those aspirants. And that made some of us to leave PDP. Even though we are the founding members of PDP, we decided to leave PDP. This is the true history. I challenge Wike to deny this history. I challenge Umeya to deny this history. I challenge Amechi to deny this history. The Excellency, the Governor, the then Governor Odili, to deny this history. Abie Sekebo, Secondus. We are life witnesses. Well, in my last interview, I did mention that the Governor was not talking to anybody.
Was not
talking to anybody. And we did not know what the Governor was going through. And by the way, I also maintained that the fight in Rivers State is not the Governor's fight. It's the Rivers people against impunity. It's the Rivers people against oppression. It's the Rivers people against looting. It's the Rivers people in support of good governance. That was the fight we have been having in Rivers State. And so, when the Governor refused to talk to anybody, we all knew that something was wrong. We advised him, you have all the support. You need to show capacity that you are the Governor of Rivers State. You have the resources. So you need to show your resources and fight for the state. You don't just be preaching peace, peace, peace when your opponent is going for your throat.
This is Niger Unfiltered on SYMFONI TV. My name is Olawale Oluwade, and my guest today is His Royal Highness Anabs Sara-Igbe, Elder Statesman, Niger Delta Chieftain. Your Royal Highness, nice to have you on the show this morning.
It's a pleasure.
Let's get right into our conversation. Developments from the state, River State. OK Chinda has emerged as the APC governorship flag bearer for next year's general elections. How do you react to this? What's your view on this?
Well, to the generality of the people of River State, what transpired in APC is an affront on River State. It's a slap on the face of Rivers people. It is an insult on Rivers people. And it's like somebody rubbing physics on the people of River State. It's quite unfortunate. But having said that, God has a purpose for everything. And the challenges are there. The Rivers people are not happy, and I think we shall retaliate appropriately. We have the Rivers Rescue Network coming out to direct Rivers people on which way to go. We say this because Rivers State is a multi-ethnic state. And for a state like that, when you are selecting your candidate, you must look at spread in a manner that it will pacify both ethnic nationalities and the various groupings. But for one man who is not in APC to influence APC, to decide on a candidate from his backyard, it's not acceptable to the people of River State. He believes that he will buy over INEC, he will buy over the judges, he will buy over everybody and declare his candidate. But I think Rivers people will wake up from their slumber and they will not allow apathy which leads to rigging. We will come out in mass with our voters' card and stand behind whoever we will choose to confront this monster. Enough of this. And I think the various groups in River State are beginning to see that the battle is not between Nyesom Wike and the governor. But the battle is between Nyesom Wike and the people of Rivers State. The battle is between Nyesom Wike and the Calabari people. The battle is between Nyesom Wike and the Ogoni people. The battle is between Nyesom Wike and the Okrika people. It's between Nyesom Wike and the Che people. It's between Nyesom Wike and the Bade people. It's between Nyesom Wike and the Bo Odua. The same token, the battle is between Nyesom Wike and the Kpea and Ghana, Obok and Doni. So it's a global thing in Rivers State. We all see this as an insult. There are competent hands in all these ethnic groups that have followed him. If you so want to bring his people from his group, he would have picked somebody outside the Kore, not even the Kore, the Obiakpo. So the Kore people themselves are not happy because that is not their dream. So we are watching, and APC has made the worst mistake in Rivers State. To the large extent, what happened in Rivers State, coupled with the emergency rule that came and destroyed the progress of development in Rivers State, the Niger Delta people are also careful and are watching. We expected Mr. President, who is our in-law, to be sensitive to the affairs of Niger Delta. But that was not the case. So we are watching, and I use this medium to advise everybody in the Niger Delta, particularly Rivers people, to dust their voters' card and wait for the election day. Don't just vote and go, but stay and protect your vote. Ensure that your vote is counted and is put into the INEC portal. Follow it to anywhere and ensure that the result is announced so that we'll know whether our vote count or not.
65, just before the primaries, 65 loyalists of Governor Signala Fubara were going to participate in the primaries. They were, disqualified from the primaries, leaving the governor, as it were, on his own. And eventually the governor was, when he saw the handwriting on the wall, he had to, pull out of the contest for re-election. That to many people came, to some, it came as a shock. To many others, it didn't come as a shock. Sir, how did it come to the point where a sitting governor, whom by all convention and tradition is the head of any political party that he belongs to in that state, was denied return tickets? How did that happen? And in any case, Nyesom Wike is not a member officially of the APC. Can you explain this?
Well, in my last interview, I did mention that the governor was not talking to anybody.
Was not
talking to anybody. And we did not know what the governor was going through. And by the way, I also maintained that the fight in Rivers State is not the governor's fight. It's the Rivers people against impunity. It's the Rivers people against oppression. It's the Rivers people against looting. It's the Rivers people in support of good governance. That was the fight we have been having in Rivers State. And so when the governor refused to talk to anybody, we all knew that something was wrong. We advised him, you have all the support. You need to show capacity that you are the governor of Rivers State. You have the resources. So you need to show your resources and fight for the state. You don't just be preaching peace, peace, peace when your opponent is going for your throat. He will tell you he's not fighting anybody, but somebody was fighting. So unfortunately, Mr. Governor did not see the handwriting clearly early enough. And if he was taking advice, or if he was communicating, if he was talking to the elders or the people, we would have told him, or would have advised him on the intrigues of politics and how to navigate it. Mr. Governor had absolute confidence in the president. And in this game, a very strong governor does not need the president. I also said this Dracula sword of impeachment does not start and end with National Assembly. There are ways to maneuver them. It starts from the National Assembly to the judiciary and to eminent people who will sit down and review or assess all the allegations. But because Mr. Governor was not ready to communicate, to talk to people, everybody have to stay clear. So whatever has happened is part of the way he wants it. Maybe what he sees, we don't see. But we have told him over and over, the organic support you have can swing. The organic support you have, you did not raise the supporters. They came on their own to support you because of good governance, because of what you are doing. So if you don't bring them together, they can swing. Even his own platform, the same movement, he disbanded all that without talking to them. And so you make yourself vulnerable to your opponent. Robert Greene says, remove the feather of the chicken, make him in such a way that he cannot fly. Then you can throw the corn on him and he will follow. That was exactly the power play that we saw. But because the fight is not same and Wike, the Rivers people took it as a challenge. And that is why we're having the River State Rescue Network. This network will go to all the nooks and crannies of River State and educate the people of River State what is before us. They will now look and assess the insult we have received and know how to react. But again, I advise people not to be violent, because when a man has nothing, he will show violence. Wike did not have capacity, did not have people. But because he was showing propaganda, as a propaganda, the governor was not showing propaganda, the people seem to believe that the governor do not have support. But we will be patient, and at the end of the day, the end will justify the means, because we are angered and we are not happy. We will follow it, we will work on it, we will preach it. We are looking at the political parties, and at the appropriate time, we will tell Rivers people which party to go. And we believe we also look at the candidate. It's not just a party. Who is the candidate? Does he have the capacity? Can he fight? Because it's not a matter of carrying gun. Can he withstand the stress, the pressure? Will he not be intimidated? These are the type of candidate we need. We need a candidate who is also financially strong to say, okay, we are going to fight. It's not a candidate's fight. It's a state fight. We will look for resources on our own from all corners to ensure, appeal to good Nigerians who are not also happy with happiness in River State, to support us both financially, emotionally, mentally. And we will go into all corners to ensure that we have victory. Victory for the people and victory for democracy.
Sir, in your last comments, you referenced what the elders and the stakeholders are doing to find a suitable candidate that will belong to the people, as against one man trying to become the lord of the manor over the River State. So can you give us any names of a potential candidates?
Well, in River State, we have so many potential candidates. But like I said, the parties are still selecting their candidates. Let the party throw up the names. Amongst the people that are there, we will harmonize, we will come together and give directives as to which party Rivers people should go. This is not the first time in the history of River State. As a young man in 1979, the leadership, the then leadership, the likes of Bulea, the likes of P.G. Warband, and several other leaders came together. Wodike Briggs, Spiff, Okilo, they all came together. And there was a crossroad like this. And they met in a club, it was called Lido Night Club along Hospital Road. We met for over 1 week. We could not get a solution. And thereafter, they started moving from house to house. The 9th day, we were locked up. And a day to the election, a directive was given. That was how Wodike Briggs stepped down, and the other leaders stepped down for Okilo to become the governor. So we allow the parties to throw their candidates. We will assess them. And we know we are credible people. And after assess them, we will have a resolution. And that message will go across the state that this is where we are going. This is our direction.
In the history of River State, this is the first time a Niger man in similar Fubara is becoming popular. So I'm right?
In the new River State.
In the new River State, okay. especially from 1999.
Yeah.
Let me be specific. From
The Fourth
1999,
Republic.
in this Fourth Republic, out of 26 or so years, or 27 years, this is the first time it seems will complete 4 years for an Ijoma. Ideally, it should have done 8 years, as against the inquiries that have had it for maybe 16 plus years, if I'm not mistaken. Now, the question is, are the Jaws, and the Jaws, importantly, are the largest ethnic group in Rivers State. Am I right?
Yeah.
So what has happened that the Jaws their tenure for governorship has been abrogated? What has happened?
You see, in the old River State, the Jaws were dominating. And as a young Democrat, when the Fourth Republic came, I personally pleaded with my leaders to consider the upland. Of the lot, Peter Odili was chosen. I introduced him to Graham Douglas. And Graham Douglas, it's Peter Odili. It's alive. And from Graham Douglas to Marshall Larry, there were a lot of opposition. Don't give them this opportunity. They'll take advantage of it. And I would say was strong from the Kore ethnic group. Even there was a Calamari man, Ebenezer Sokarani. The leadership wanted Ebenezer Sokarani to come to PDP, but he preferred to stick to APP. And so, since he was not in their party and everybody wants to deliver, River State is not just managed by the indigenous. There are external forces that manage the political affairs of River State. And so these forces wanted somebody that they can work with. And so when I brought in Peter, the leadership accepted. If I tell you what we did to even disqualify, I would say you'll be shocked. I would say at that time I had the likes of Chief Sergeant, I would say, I had the like of Sokarani, the NAFCON boss. So it was so fierce because they were all in APP. Peter crossed over to APP based on the advice of the leadership. And when he crossed, they also advised, I would say, to cross. Ebenezer refused to cross and remain in APP. So when it was so fierce, and I would say was very aggressive, we plotted and snapped him with his group where they were making trouble in Marshall Harris' place, and sent that picture to Solomon La that I would say is violent and we don't need a violent leader. That disqualifies Abu say. As politics evolves, I would say thereafter, be on the side of this leadership. And that was when they called me the mafia messenger of River State. I was like coordinating the leadership, speaking on behalf of the leadership. I was like the mouth of the leadership, with Graham Douglas as the head. So Odili came, we mobilized, we fought, and Odili became the governor. I was one of the most powerful in Odili's government. I left my office, IGI, to join Odili. I was the first appointee. Omeya became the second appointee. I was appointed in the morning of June 1st, Omeya in the evening of June 1st. So along the line, there were problems between Odili and the leadership. Obasanjo brokered peace, and all that left. So when it came to the end of Odili's tenure, I still insisted that Rotimi Amechi, the Kore man, should be given the opportunity. Because at that time we supported Awusi, and Awusi did not get the governorship. So I felt we have a duty to pay back Awusi. So not paying Awusi directly, but at least the Kore man. So I stood for Rotimi Amechi. It was tough. Amechi has lost the elections. But I held Peter Odili. I said, look, we have a pack. I stood for you. Now I'm standing for Amechi. I held him down for 2 hours in the government house pavilion. Abiy Sakibo is alive, was there. Secondus was there. Gioake is late, was there. myself and Odili. Abechi was not even there. And for 2 hours, I held Odili down to make sure Abechi gets the ticket. Maybe that is where I made a mistake. Now, when Amechi got the ticket, the leadership were not happy. So along the line, they politicate and the issue of K-leg came in. When the issue of K-leg came in, what do? I still felt the Query should take their slot because I look at the political situation in River State, from the old River State to the new River State. The Query people have been agitating. They have been asking for this governorship. So I said, let us give them. Clark was very angry with me. Chief Clark was very angry with me. Graham Douglas was angry with me. All of them were angry. But I said, look, it is better we carry along our brothers. And along the line, just Friday evening, the directive was given that they should deliver Abechi. Abechi was not there. I went to Abechi, told his wife, it's a life story, it's a life. He should deny it. They should say it if I'm telling the lies. Odili is alive. Abechi Sakebo is alive. Secondus is alive. So when the case saga came and I still felt the Shore should get it, I went to Peter. I said, look, Obeya has been working with us. We came together. Why don't we give it to Obeya, since it's a cousin to Amechi, so that we can have that process? So Obeya got it, and myself and Amechi agreed without delay to bring Obeya. And that was how Wike came to be the chairman of Amechi campaign. So they were saying, no, why must we support Obeya? This was Amechi or nobody. The president of the general was Amechi's lawyer. I made sure that when Amechi was in court, the legal fee was paid. On Sunday, we paid the president of the general 25 million to stand for Amechi, to clear his name that all the allegations against him are not correct. I also spoke to the governor. We flew with Amechi to Ghana with River State jet. We did all that. And the intrigues came. At a point, the governor also changed his mind when Obeya came in and Obeya won the election. I was shot. My car was bullet-ridden in Obeya's election. But we survived, and Obeya won. So the case went on, and Amechi won the case. So we felt that the Koreans have gotten their turn. Then from nowhere, Wike called me that he will like me to support him to get the ticket after Amechi. Ikore North, Ikore South. And I asked him, who will take over? He said he will be the one to take over. He said, it's not right. I was with them in the meeting. After him, it will go to Ikore West and the then chairman of the local government, more local government, will take it. I said, what are you talking? In River State? Why are you talking that way? That was where we parted ways as friends. We are very good friends. I knew him before he finished his political science degree. We went to UST for his law program, and he came and gave us God Engine, myself, Ajupike Oberegede, and Timothy Serem, who was like his elder brother. So we knew ourselves. I even played the role in his becoming the local government chairman two times, talking to Berry Odile, talking to other people, Mbata and others. Amechi also played a role. So when eventually Amechi won, he got the chief of staff. We thought that would be enough to compensate him. But he started scheming, and Amechi also was not happy with that scheme, that he wants to become the governor. So the best for him was to send him out. So he went to become a minister, and from there, he now instigated crisis, came out to support the president and all what. We thought, haven't done that, be a minister, he became a minister, it's enough. But he maneuvered his way, and Mrs. Jonathan insisted that he must be the governor. The elders met with Jonathan. Jonathan was neither here or there. At the point, Clark, everybody was disappointed.
That was the husband.
Yes. Yes. The president then, Jonathan. disappointed the whole of the elders in the Ijaw nation, and they had their way. He said there are prominent riverine people like Ojibogobia, Bekibor, Dagogo Jack, Dubolulu Briggs, so many other prominent rivers people were in that race with him, about 12 of them. But they disqualified almost everybody. On which ground, we don't know, like what he did in the APC. The PDP disqualified so many of those aspirants. And that made some of us to leave PDP. Even though we are the founding members of PDP, we decided to leave PDP for that to go. Now he has left. Under pressure, he brought SIM and orchestrated a plan so that SIM will not be able to do a job. When he saw that SIM was performing, he decided to start a battle where there's no fight. And at the end of the day, he has succeeded in the orchestration of his plan by removing, asking SIM not to contest, and brought somebody from his local government, thinking Rivers people will support that. You cannot fool us. This is the true history. I challenge Wike to deny this history. I challenge Omeya to deny this history. I challenge Amechi to deny this history. The Excellency, the governor, the then governor Odili, to deny this history. Abie Sekibo, Secondus. We are life witnesses. This was the role I played in the Fourth Republic. I didn't get anything. I didn't go for anything. Although I was the first appointee in this cabinet, I resigned and left. So we are not playing politics to grab. But today, what we have here is somebody who came in, he wants to control everything in and out of government. We had other governors. Spiff was a governor who did better than anybody in the state. Okilo came, did his own. Other George came, did his own. Odili came, did his own. Amechi came. Nobody said he forgot structure that he wants to collect. He said he has forgotten the structure. He wants to collect the structure. And he said, take your structure. They gave him the structure, and they went for a local government election, and they won him ups, down. He used the judiciary to truncate the election, that, the number of days were not enough, and brought in a state of emergency to scatter the entire state. So Rivers people have seen the way he has been going, and above all, see, these governors that past governors never shown the kind of affluence he shows with our resources that he looted. He did not spread projects across the state. Flyovers, fine, he has done flyovers to check traffic. But what of the major projects in other communities? And all those flyovers were Nobiakwa. Nobody knew how much each of the flyover cost. No bidding, no nothing. Just decided what contract. He ruled like an emperor, like a pharaoh. And he has left. What interest do you have in River State? You want to control the resources. While he was governor, internally generated revenue that was declared was 12 billion. Few months after he left, internally generated revenue became 12 billion, 22 billion. What was the magic? 22 to 25 billion. What was the magic? Were there new investment? There were no new investment. Somebody collects the money, share whatever he likes, and cause whatever problem. So now you want to bring your own brother, thinking your brother will rule and you will loot this fund. Where are you going with this money? You acquire everywhere. You Port Harcourt, you bought your own Port Harcourt. You are acquiring properties in Abuja. You grab land, take people away, and behaving as if there is no government. Government is something that comes and go transit. Today you are there, tomorrow you will not be there. So what he's doing is the problem we have in River State. When Rivers people are not happy that somebody has amassed all our money, having a supermarket, hotel, hospital, different kind of investment, and you are boasting. What can people do? So this is the problem where we have, but we believe that the Rivers people will understand the situation and handle it appropriately.
Let me ask you again about Governor Singh Fubara. He was deliberately silent, and I think that was strategic. I don't know whether you agree with me. But the silence, was this strategic, or was this the greatest or the most costliest and expensive, mistake in political history in Rivers State?
Well, the governor decided to be silent. Besides, The governor felt Wike assisted him to become governor. And so there was no point fighting Wike. And indeed, he was not fighting Wike. He was only playing the defense. And we are worried because as a governor, you don't behave like a governor. You have the resources, you have the men, you have the immunity. But you don't deploy any of this. You just allow peace. Even at the time when the assembly members decamped and not decamped, sworn affidavit they have decamped, sworn affidavit they have not decamped, that is perjury. When we want to pick them on perjury, he said, no, he refused to support. The elders went to court. When the first intervention of Mr. President came, and they gave him 8-point agenda. We looked at all the 8-point agenda, and we discovered that what happened recently was their target. We could read in between what the plan was. We could wrote a few things, gave to Mr. President, hand over to SIM to accept. When the thing came out, we said no. We challenged it in court. We went to the state high court. They said they don't have jurisdiction. We appealed. From appeal, we went to Supreme Court. SIM did not give us one kobo. He did not even meet with us to ask, why are you going this? He said the sons are not there. And said, we are not doing it for you, but you are the beneficiary. We are fighting for the state. And because we refused to back down, SIM refused to see the elders. But we didn't bother because we felt as a young man, he's trying to protect one thing or the other. And that is how he has been consistently. He never fought Wike. He was only defense. And even in a football match, when you continue to play defense, they will score you. You must attack. If you don't attack, you don't try to score, and you allow them to be coming to your defense at all times, and you're on the defense side. That's the problem. Some of the Wike group called you and said, come. Anytime that your governor is coming to meet you with the president, he comes alone. Wike comes with 20, 30. We are following him. But we are not happy with what he's doing. Why can't he come with some of you elders so that where he cannot talk, you will talk? If you tell the governor, say, forget it. Say, look, I'm not fighting anybody. He's not fighting anybody. Yes. And he's not fighting anybody, has landed the state where we are. But it's good for us, because now everybody can know the intent of Nyesom Wike. He did not deliberately allow the riverine to take position, but he picked somebody he felt he can manipulate, he can control, and he can say whatever he wants, and it will go free. But that is now history in River State. We are looking up to 2027, where a true river son who will emerge through the process and fight this fight on behalf of the state.
I know you described the FCT Mr. Nyesom Wike in your earlier remarks, but let me ask you now. As we speak, as we sit down here, he's in control of both the PDP and the APC in River State. He's also in control of the state legislature, the House of Assembly in River State. What none of his earlier predecessors were able to do, even installed a successor, in 2023. Do you not agree that Nyesom Wike is a political colossus? Do you not agree?
Well, beside the misunderstanding, I will give it to Nyesom Wike to an extent. Among the ministers we have produced, nobody has helped Rivers people to get appointment like Nyesom Wike. The number of appointments he has secured, I give it to him. Nyesom Wike read political science, and after political science, when he came, we asked him to go and do masters. He said no, he was going to do law to support his political science. So having read political science and law, he is like a philosopher now. He sit down, he was waiting for power. When the power came to his hand, he now applied the power to the extent that he gets what he wants. He's ready to pay any price. Nyesom Wike is ready to pay any price to get what he wants. There's no doubt in that. But what we're saying, that was immoral. In my political history, since 1979 to date, I have never seen one man be in opposition and be in government. That must be too divided. There are ideologies. I don't play politics without ideologies. In 1983, when I was a contest to the State House Assembly, Okilo, my uncles, Chifeja Rabraba and Graham Douglas, advised me to step down on UPN and join NPN. And Okilo offered me some sort of compensation. And I said, look, money is not everything. I want to taste the assembly. I want to go there. And I want to change things. UPN is having free education, which is the key. At that time, I was training my younger ones, and I know the load. The burden I was carrying on education. So I want somebody to offload that from me. So there are ideologies why people join parties. Even in the advanced country, they don't just join party because they want to join party. For physical power. Power is not the issue. The issue is you must be a principled person. You must know why you are in politics. We brought PDP to River State. But when PDP went the other way in the election of Wike, when I saw people were corrupt, they were not doing what was right, I left PDP and stayed neutral until APC came. All right? So we joined APC, and when we saw the way APC was going, we also left APC. We refused to go on with APC. You must have a principle in life. But Nyesom Wike has a principle. So far as it concerns power and money. Anything money, he wants to go for the money, he wants to go for power. So he's good at that. I give it to him. But is that the way politics should be played? If we all play politics in that way, can democracy survive in Nigeria? Can the democracy grow in Nigeria? What will be the fate of our children? If we are greedy, because if you are playing politics with greed, we want to get everything, Maybe at the time I was fighting for Ojili to become governor, and Mechi to become governor, or Mayor to become governor, I would have fought for myself. And if I had fought for myself to become governor, I would have been given an opportunity. And if others who are matured are not greedy, then the one man came to become greedy, not only greedy in River State, his greed has transited River State to the national. Everybody is now seeing it. You destroy the party that made you chairman. You destroy the party that makes you the chief of staff. You destroy the party that made you minister of state, coordinating minister, a party that made you governor. You destroy it for selfish interest to another party. All right? And now you have after destroying that party, you are not even in that party, you started attacking all the parties. All the parties in Nigeria should not come to stay. One man. Are we forgetting the history, political history? What destroyed the First Republic? What destroyed the Second Republic? What destroyed the Third Republic? Do we destroy the Fourth Republic? People must be sensitive to whatever they are doing. What do you come to this world to do? Alexander the Great, one of the greatest men, on his deathbed said, when I die, bring the physicians to carry my corpse. Throw coins to my grave and bring out my hands. I come to this world with nothing and I'm going with nothing. That's a very good philosophy. People should learn that this world is not our own. So many great men have gone. They didn't go with any wealth. They didn't go with any property. They didn't go with their wives. They didn't go with their children. So if you are in a position, use the position to help people. Like I said, I give you kudo in terms of appointment. But to what effect is appointment on the Niger Delta? To what is the effect of an appointment on his people? But he has done well in that area.
If you are going to use one word to describe Mr. Nyesom Wike, what would that word be?
I will call him a greedy politician. I will call him a greedy politician who is power drunk. That's what I would say.
That's a strong one. That's a strong one. Your Royal Highness, Nigeria has been pumped. Let's switch gears to the issues with the Niger Delta as a whole now. Nigeria has been pumping, extracting crude oil and exporting, earning dollars. As of the last estimate, Nigeria has earned over $5 trillion from crude oil exploration, majorly from the Niger Delta, since 1958, when it was first discovered in Olympic. Yet, with all these huge resources extracted from that region of the country, most of the places they spoiled, fishing communities totally wasted, and all of that. Can you explain the mismatch between revenues generated and development? Even though part of the argument is that even the monies given to your leaders, political leaders, the money is diverted. But can you explain this paradox to Nigerians?
Well, you see, oil is being produced in different countries in the world, including the civilized countries. America, Russia, all produce oil. Canada, Britain, we all produce oil. But Nigeria became the 8th largest producers of oil in the world and the 6th largest producers of gas. So God blessed us with several minerals, not only oil and gas. There is no mineral you can talk about in the world that cannot be found in Nigeria, including the cheapest mineral, the black sand, which is found across the Atlantic coast. But the problem is, Nigerians forgot agriculture when oil came. And these oil activities to continue to destroy the flora, the environment, and today it has affected our farm. Not only the farm, it also affected the sea. We can no longer fish. And so we continue to import fish rather than producing fish locally that is given to us by God. We are exposed to the Atlantic Ocean. We have so many rivers. We have so many seas. But the government of Nigeria have not been sensitive to the environment. They are only interested in exploring the oil, making the money from the oil and gas, and polluting the environment. Today, everybody is talking about politics, politics, politics. In the media space, nobody wants to hear about environment. Today, you are a media person. Nobody wants to hear about the environment in the media space. All they are interested is politics, politics. Now, when you go to politics, you win election, you want to rule, you need resources. And these resources is what we're talking about in the oil and gas. Nigeria is supposed to use this money from oil and gas to develop other resources, other mineral resources across the country. If they are doing that, every part of the country would know the importance of remediating the soil. And so in Niger Delta, we are appealing to government. We are appealing to the Ministry of Environment. We are appealing to the NPRC, which controls the oil companies. We are appealing to the NDDC and the state government, who collects derivation from the oil production, to ensure that this environment is cleaned. There are different technologies. We have the biological technology, which is the latest that was developed to be able to eat up the oil in the soil, in the air, and in the waters. If we do that and the land is recovered, farm agriculture can take place. And when agriculture takes place, then we can get carbon credit. If we also reduce the gas flaring, we have reduced gas emissions in the air. That will also give us carbon credit. These are things we want the government to do. But unfortunately, those in charge of these oil and gas activities are not interested. Or maybe because they have been overtaxed by government. So they are not interested in remediation. The PIA law made provision for contribution by oil producing companies for the remediation of the soil. Most of these companies are leaving. They are leaving to offshore. The offshore they are leaving to, the pollution in the offshore still affects the Niger Delta because the water brings it back to the Niger Delta. And they are supposed to pay some deposit for remediation. So we are begging government to please gather all this and get an American technology, a company that is competent enough to be able to clean the Niger Delta so that we can recover the soil, redeem the soil, plant agriculture, and also earn carbon credit in addition to revenue from the oil and gas. If we can stop the gas flaring, we can channel it to energy. And this will also go a long way in reducing cost of energy in the country. We can do power, we can use it for so many things. Even the medical, look at today, if you are a patient in the ICU, the cost amount you pay for oxygen is so huge. And we have oxygen everywhere. So Nigeria should think of now industrializing this country, having remediated the place and having all the resources together. We should think of industrializing. And even in the course of industrialization, we must also look at the carbon emission and reduce carbon so that we can earn carbon credit.
Let me ask you quickly, Your Royal Highness. The Ogoni cleanup project, how far have we gone with that?
Well, we are not satisfied the way that project is going. You know, when the Buhari administration was there on the 1st of November, late Edwin Clark led over November 2014, led
That was not Buhari administration. 2014.
no, 2021 for a bit. Buhari administration.
Came in 2015, May 2015.
2016, when Adventure came,
Yes.
and they disrupted the old oil production. Oil production fell, and the leaders of Niger Delta, led by Clark, met, and we went to see Mr. President. Mr. President assured us that they will look into these problems. The Vice President assured us also that in our meetings with the Vice President, that they're going to clean up, they will brief PANDEF every 2 weeks. But till he left, all the promises they made, the bottler refineries they made, the remediation, all the 14-point agenda we placed before them, including the settlement of Bakassi. The Bakassi issue is dying down, but people are suffering. You took the land from them, the ancestral home, and you brought them to Nigeria. Even the Cross River State government has not been able to resettle the Bakassi issue. All were part of the 14-point agenda we presented to Buhari. And they assured us, but nothing happened. And the technology they use in the Ogoni cleanup for this number of years is not the latest technology. And that is why we are saying, don't use that technology again, because it takes time. And again, you don't restore the land. You remediate, but you don't restore the land. So we need a technology that will remediate, restore the land for agriculture. So if they can use that technology, we will be able to quickly, because it's not something that you use chemical. The latest technology is bacteria. You inject bacteria into the area, and the bacteria will grow, produce a lot of them themselves, and eat up the entire process. And even that has also a process whereby at a point you stop the bacteria from reproduction so that they will not go beyond that. So that's the technology that is evoked. So we're saying Niger Delta is big. Ogoni cleanup is just a small place. And we are spending so much money for so long. So we ask UNEP to also look at this issue of the cleaning up of Niger Delta. Not Ogoni because of the killing of Sara-Igbe and his group and because they stopped production. And you want to clean up. What of those areas that have not stopped production, who are still allowing to produce, and you are not cleaning them? So we're saying clean this environment. And any government or any party that assure us that they will clean Ogoni or that will clean up the Niger Delta, it's the whole of Niger Delta, is the party I think Niger Deltas will support. Because a lot of people are dying from pollution. Our airs are polluted, our soil is polluted, our water, underwater, and even the seawater, they are all polluted. The whole environment is polluted. And all the EIA report that were given, none of them implemented them. So the whole impact is so much on the people of Niger Delta. Mortality rate is so high. And basic infrastructures are not still there where this oil are produced. Women die during pregnancy or childbirth. The mortality rate is so high. So we are appealing strongly. Clean our environment, put basic infrastructures to see that we survive. And that's why we are holding entities accountable. Because we are collecting money from the federal government to develop the place. But without cleaning the environment, you have not developed the place. So you must clean the environment. First, you cannot do it alone because it's huge. Niger Delta is big. We are speaking to Environment Ministry to look at it, and the NPLC, the state governors. In the next 1 or 2 months, PANDEF will organize an international environment conference where experts from all over the world and within Nigeria will come and discuss the solution. We want government to key into that conference so that they can be able to ensure that the environment is clean. It's clean. It's for Nigeria. It's for all of us. Because everybody goes there. It's not only Niger Delta people that go to the Niger Delta. We all go to Niger Delta and we all benefit. And also, not just the oil and gas. Look at Jos. What happens to Jos? Look at what happens to Enugu. You destroy, you use coal, you use everything, iron ore. When you take all of them, you don't replace the environment. And the people suffer, which is not good for anybody. So we want the environment to be taken seriously.
Thank you. Now, as we begin to wind up, I must not fail to ask these questions, otherwise, our viewers will not pardon. There are serious allegations that some of our security men posted to the Niger Delta to secure crude oil assets are actually colluding, with the criminals involved in pipeline vandalism, oil theft, illegal bunkering, and all of this. Even this week, some reports, came out in this, direction. How true is this?
Well, the facts is very clear. The pipelines have been vandalized. That is why you can see new ports, transit ports are springing up in the Niger Delta. And that is very expensive to export the crude oil, considering the cost of the crude. So the Navy and the OPDS were asked to monitor, including the civil defense, the pipelines along the coast and upland. But you agree with me that vandalism was so much. And at the point we asked, the local people don't have what it takes. They don't have the equipment, they don't have the instrument to go and do the vandalism. So we observe that there is a conspiracy between those working in the oil field, the security agencies, and some powerful people in Nigeria who will bring vessels to load our crude. They stay far a bit out of the sea, then they will use barges and other things to be moving this crude. Now, if you look at the rivers, the Niger Delta, there are major routes where you can pass to the Atlantic. The Navy, with all their facilities, are placed there. So where were the Navy when all these things were going on? That is number one. If they are actually doing their work, what has happened? But I'll give them credit. The pool fire situation has come down. At the point we have artisan refineries all over the place, they break the pipes, steal the crude oil to do artisan refinery. We have pool fire, the diesel, kerosene, and all kinds of things. We advise the then government, bring these artisans together, train them, bring modular refineries in place of this artisan fire, sell them the crude oil. If you do that, that will reduce the level of theft. But instead of doing that, they prefer to award security contracts. And sometimes the security contract has been able to expose how pipelines are being laid into the Atlantic Ocean from the Niger Delta. No Niger Delta son have the technology or even have the resources without the connivance of the oil companies. So they would lay pipes to the sea, so you don't even see the barges. The pipe would go. And it goes to a point that the jobbers they took also felt, if these people are collecting this money, let us also cut our own and do the pool fire. That was the situation we found ourselves. So for government to stop this, you must involve the community. The PIA was brought in, but it was not properly spelled out. And again, if you want that to happen, you must give the traditional rulers some kind of power. But the situation where the Constitution do not recognize traditional rulers, and you now ask them to go and do a job. Pipeline vandalism, oil theft is like a cartel, drug cartel. If somebody is attacking a drug cartel, he must be prepared to die. Because the cartel have everything it takes. You can see the bandit the way they're going. They have everything it takes. So any king who says you are not in support of them, they can come and take you off. So many people have been killed like that. So government need to be sensitive. And if they clean our environment and somebody want to pollute our environment, the people will now say, no, don't pollute our environment. For instance, if we restore the land, you are bringing companies to go into agriculture. The land will not be sold to them. The land will be as an equity for the community. The community will have a share of the business. We will not sell our land for you to talk about land. We will give you the land. We are partner to the project. If you do that, that was what PIA ought to be. We are supposed to be partner to the oil companies so that at the end of the day we have dividend. If we have a dividend from the business, then we'll protect the business. So we believe that if proper thing is done, the Niger Delta people are taken into consideration, they clean up the place, and allow our people to participate in agriculture. Then we can protect our rivers, we can protect our land.
You made reference to the security contract that was given to a private company, Tantifa Limited. Is it effective? And what's, because I've been seeing reports in the electronic media recently, I think that contract is due for renewal. And there's been some controversy, some different groups saying, don't give it to one person, give it to different people, and all of that. What's your general view?
Well,
about 1 or 2 minutes.
That contract has been renewed for political reasons.
Has been renewed?
Yes, for political reasons.
Just for political reasons?
Political reasons. The contract is just there, and they believe that those that are benefiting from the contract will protect the government. No longer protecting the oil and gas.
Not protecting the pipelines.
Yes, but it's because they will protect government. And they are indeed protecting the government. They are ensuring that people who are supposed to come out against government are being quelled. So they are doing their work. I would say they are not performing. Initially, they have been able to discover pipelines that were buried to the Atlantic Ocean. They have been able to do something. But I can tell you one of the strongest pipeline, the Lebe trunk line, it's not working, it's dead. So many pipelines have been vandalized. So the crude oil are no longer passing through the pipelines for export. So whichever way they are protecting, they know better. But I see it's more of a political instrument in the Niger Delta. So the Niger Delta will be conquered, quelled.
Now, final question. What are the latest developments in the oil and gas sector, particularly with reference to the NNPC, refineries, and all of that?
Well, the old Nigerians are seeing the effect of not repairing our refineries. And today, Dangote refinery and the NNPC are quarreling over importation or no importation, monopoly of production. The refineries are there. The GMD has never visited this refinery to know why they are not producing. It's busy thinking of how to sell the refinery to their cronies. It's not interested in reactivating the refineries or making them work. So they will tell like now if Dangote say the price is this, we'll reduce it in the interest of the public. The company belongs to Nigerians. NNPC is owned by Nigerians. And so if NNPC is making loss for Nigerians to survive, I don't see anything wrong. But there's no way they can make loss in the oil and gas industry. The crude oil is there. We produce our crude oil in this country. The federal government owns between 55 and 60% of the crude oil. And so if we sell our crude oil, reduce the price for the refinery, and they are producing other components, it will help. And one refinery employs so many people. Then the products from there also create market across the state, across the country. So refinery has multiple effects in the country. Today we're not seeing kerosene. Gas is nowhere to buy again. Gas is supposed to be cheap. Because the gas we have in Nigeria, we cannot finish it in the next 100 years. So why must gas be so expensive? We have crude oil we cannot finish in the next 100 years. Why can't we produce crude oil at least 10 million barrels per day? If we are producing 10 million barrels per day, what will be our revenue? The revenue will be much more, will be enough to pay school fees, to cater for education, cater for health, cater for our roads, and governance will be sweet. Industries will be attracted because we are producing money. And you will not just bring all kinds of taxes on the people because you have money. But government is not interested in how they can produce this gas and oil in a more safe way, clean the environment, produce this gas and oil, and develop Nigeria. Use the money to develop other sectors. We have gold, we have uranium, we have several minerals. Nigeria is rich, is blessed. South Africa is rich. The whole world is coming towards Africa for mineral resources, for raw materials. So why can't we develop our raw materials and become a giant? If we stop exporting our raw materials, the war in the north, what do you think it's all about? It's about the mineral resources. So if we can stop them from taking our minerals illegally, and we are mining them locally, Nigeria will be a rich country and will become great. But I still say the present GMD or the chief executive officer of the NNPC is not competent to run the NNPC. I'll still call for his sack and a more competent person appointed within the NNPC, particularly those from the Niger Delta, who knows the brunt of the oil production and knows how to talk to the community so that they can increase production to at least 10 million barrels per day. We can do it. If other countries can do it, we can also do it. We are not bringing in investors. Foreign investors are not coming in because of these bottlenecks we have. Remove the bottleneck. Let foreign investors come in. Let them explore on oil. They said fossil oil is going. So what are we waiting for? If fossil oil is going and we have a reserve that can stay for 100 years, what is our problem? We have the reserve of coal. Coal is just there doing nothing because the era of coal is gone. Now we are going to electric motors. Everybody's going to electricity. So if we don't do this energy in time, sell them off, it will be done one day. It will be of no use to anybody. So we are willing, at Niger Delta, wash our hand, we wash our hand. Bring competent hand to run the NNPC so that we can produce.
Thank you so much. It's been nice having you.
It's a pleasure.